Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Under 360 English. Today we are going to discuss about a small discrepancy on broker charges. So in relation to this brokerage charging, I wish to share my experience with you. So a relatively new broking house, they have approached me in the month of March and they have offered almost down to earth pricing. That's not a mainstream big broking house or anything. And after repeated requests and reminders, I decided to start the account. But I haven't taken that account for my regular investments or trading. But instead of that, just to check its trading interface and UI and reliability, some trades has been executed in that. So in the month of April, I did a few trainings, and in May also, a few trades has been executed. I regularly check my contract note, but occasionally I check my ledger. So once I check my ledger, I have found that a few call and trade charges, not one or two, a few call and trade charges, and that was in the month of May month ledger. So in order to get it clarified, I just sent a mail to the customer care seeking for clarification, since I haven't done any call and trade activities. So this is the mail I sent. The call and trade charges has been levied as 20 rupee plus GST 18%. That's 3 rupees 60 paise. So together it's a 23 rupees 60 paise. So in reply to this, I got a mail from them states that I had an open position in options. That's 17,300 call. Since that's not closed, typical brokerage charges will be levied and that will be termed under the head of call and trade charges. I knew that many brokerage houses, they used to do so because that is one another source of their income. We can't blame them. But after 1 or 2 hours, someone from the ops team or sales, they just made a call to me and asked whether I am satisfied with the resolution or not. So I told it's okay, I got the point and everything is well and fine. So suddenly I got a feeling that this is not mentioned in the contract note. This 20 rupee plus GST is not mentioned in the contract note. Nowhere ever mentioned that one. No other separate invoices has been given. So I just casually asked, when are you going to give the invoice for this 23 rupee 60 paise? Because you have collected the GST for that. Why I'm asked this? Because the financial service or financial institutions, they have certain assumptions like that. Even after delivering the service or even after charging that also, they can be able to give the invoice rather than when compared to other some warehousing or physical assets things. Once you take from the warehouse, you have to generate the invoice or e-bill. In this case, that's somewhat exempted. That's the reason why I just asked, when are you going to give the invoice for that? So he told that generally we never used to give any invoice for this call and trade facility or anything. Then I told it's not the question of whether you are giving it or not. But unfortunately in India, there are certain norms that prevails. Whenever you collect a GST, you are supposed to deliver an invoice for that also. So he told that I'm not aware of that. Anyway, he will get back to me after consulting with the finance as well as the billing team. Unfortunately, I didn't hear from him for that entire day. Next day, I got a mail like this that we wish to clarify that we shall provide separate GST statement which we were levied in your account in case if you have updated GST details in the trading profit. That means if I am running this as an organization or in the name of the company, or in other words, if I am going to claim input credit, they are ready to give the GST invoice. Obviously that they have to give, because if I go and claim that, they will be liable to give that. But we have to understand one thing, that irrespective of whether you are going to claim for it or not, it's the right of the customer to get the GST invoice if the seller or the service provider collects GST from their side. Because of that, I just replied to them like this. That is, you can share a typical retailer GST invoice that meant for non-GST clients. To my amusement, I got a reply like this, that we regret to inform you that we shall be unable to provide separate GST statement or invoice to non-GST clients. From this, I got to have the knowledge that these people are just collecting the GST amount, but unfortunately they are not remitting that to the government. So I replied to them that kindly let me know what's the practice of your company of GST remittance collected without a GST invoice. So without a GST invoice, without an invoice number, what's the practice of them to remit that particular collected GST to the government at the end of the month or quarterly or whatever it is? I believe they came in to know about the gravity of the situation, because I haven't heard anything from them for the next 3 to 4 days. And after 3 to 4 days, I got a reply from them like this. We wish to inform you that we will send a GST statement for the month of April by 10th May 2022 on your registered email ID. That means they are ready to give the invoice because I have pressed for that. Or they have a fear that I may take it forward to some other levels, or it may be get escalated, because that's a serious offense that if you collect the GST from the customer and not remitting to the government. Immediately after the receipt of this mail, I got a call from the ops manager. I don't know why he indulged in this, and asked me whether I am happy with this. With his pressure, the company is ready to give a separate GST invoice for me, because all these call and trade charges for that month comes nearly 3,000 to 4,000 rupees. So he told that I must be happy with that. So then only I realized that in the month of March also I have paid these kind of charges. Then I asked him, okay, you do one thing, you ask them to send the GST invoice for the month of March also. He told that, okay, he will check with the finance and get back to me. To my amusement, someone else called me from finance department and told that as a goodwill gesture, they are ready to give me a credit of the entire amount they have collected from me in the name of call and trade charges in the month of March. What does it mean? That means they can change, because March belongs to the last financial year and they have settled everything. It will be a bit difficult for them to add something to that statement and everything, because they have already submitted, they have already filed the GST for the month of March. Unfortunately, from this conversation, what I have learned is they haven't remitted any GST that they have collected in the name of call and trade charges. So what they can do, the only thing that they can do is they can give back the amount in the name of some goodwill gestures or whatever it is for against my future trades brokerage charges. So this is what happening with many brokers in India. They collect GST charges against all the services, 18% GST, and majority of the time they won't give you any invoice for that. So there is no proof that they have collected the GST against that particular service. Neither you can't prove that. Apart from the ledger entry, nothing is there. So you just imagine, lakhs and lakhs of trades are being executed in every day, every month and every week. And maybe in the order of lakhs or crores are being collected as GST by every broker. If they are not remitting this to our treasury or exchequer, how much money is being looted in this particular industry? So, at the bottom line, what I want to tell you is, if you pay 20 paise as GST, never hesitate to ask a GST invoice for that payment. You can boldly ask them to give the GST invoice. Right away you can tell, without a GST invoice, I am not going to pay it. If they have deducted, you can say that I will escalate the issue. Along with the contract notes, please go through the ledgers also. If you find something like this, some charges without the GST, please make sure that you have followed up it. Because it's a responsibility of every citizen to make sure that the tax that you have paid reach to the government. A healthy and economically fit government system only can provide a secure governance to the citizens. So see you in another episode. Till then, bye from Anup.